Yes, continuing on the study of the book of Acts and bringing out points about how people messed up in the book of Acts. Remember, Jesus is our example, not Paul, not Peter, not Stephen. And we're going to talk about Stephen a little bit here because he was filled with the Holy Spirit, and he gives his address here, and they're all listening. And he's talking. He talks about in Acts chapter 7, Stephen, he's talking about Abraham, and then he talks about the other patriarchs, and then he talks about Moses and Pharaoh, and then he talks about the prophets, and then he talks about the true tabernacle, and David built him a house. Sorry, Solomon built him a house, but he talks about David, who had a tabernacle. And then, out of the blue, after they're listening to his discord, he says, "You stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears." And he says, "You always resist the Holy Spirit. And as your fathers did," he brings in fathers. That's like when I was a boy, if you mention your mother, you could say, "You're ugly," but if your mother is ugly, then it's fighting words. So he says, "As your fathers did, so do you. And your fathers killed the prophets. And you're a murderer, you're a betrayer. You have received the law, and you have not kept it." Now, I ask you, was that the right thing for him to say at that point in his discourse? What if he said, "And Jesus rose again from the dead, and we are witnesses of that, that God raised him from the dead, that those who believe in Jesus," right? There's no Jesus here, is there? That those who believe in Jesus would be saved, and that you could receive the Holy Spirit just as we did. So they killed him. They were listening to him probably, 10 minutes. They were listening to things he said, and then he starts insulting them, and they gnashed at him with their teeth, and they killed him. Was that the right thing for him to do? Did God want that to happen that way? Is this an instruction for us today? Or is this an example of what we as believers should not do to people? Remember, all of this stuff is in the Bible for our training, and we have to discern whether it's stuff we should be doing or should not be doing. Anyhow, that's my little talk about Stephen.